Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow was the first game of the series to release on the Nintendo DS, and as a DS title, it has its fair share of touchscreen gimmicks. The worst offender being the seal system. In this game, after defeating a boss, you are prompted with this screen. The game wants you to quickly and accurately draw a seal on the touchscreen to seal away the boss, or else, oh god damn it. If you fail or take too long, the boss will regain some of its health, while you suffer knowing that if you just practice those damn seals a little bit more, you wouldn't be getting blasted by giant skulls right now. This mechanic is widely regarded by fans as one of the worst gimmicks to ever enter the series. But what if I told you that speedrunners of all people love the seals in this game? Why is that? Well, ironically enough, these seals break this game wide open. But to help me explain exactly how they do that, I asked my good friend and Dawn of Sorrow speedrunner, Diagon, to help show me how speedrunners blaze through this game, defeating every boss along the way, while using those pesky seals to their advantage. But before speedrunners can enter the main castle, they must first get through the tutorial section. Here, they learn very quickly, upon defeating enemies, they have a chance to absorb their soul, which grants them an ability themed after that enemy. The random nature of these soul drops will become very apparent soon, but for now, I'll let Diagon explain some of the early game speedrunning mechanics.
Yeah, so at the beginning we have backdash canceling. There are various different ways you can do that. You can do what I do, so backdash, turn around, jump. You can do just backdash, short hop. Also, you can do backdash, crouch.
Another important thing to see is all the damage boosts you're doing early on.
Yeah, this room is really damage boost heavy. And we're already at the first boss. It's Flying Armor. It's a really simple boss, because I'm just gonna utilize Knife and Skeleton Soul to kill him fast.
And immediately we're seeing, since this is an all bosses run, you are going to be performing every single one of those seals for every single boss. How do you feel about drawing these seals after killing a boss?
I mean, I'm used to it. Like, I barely ever fail it.
After defeating Flying Armor, the rest of the Lost Village is opened up to the player. The intended route is to go to the right and head towards the Wizardry Lab, but speedrunners have other plans, and it all starts with this bald man right here.
Yeah, going to the shop immediately, selling spoiled milk and rare ring. So this is Nintendo DS game, and Nintendo DS has two different slots where you can put your cartridges into. First one is for DS games, of course, and second one is for Game Boy games. As we know, this game is a sequel to Aria of Sorrow, a Game Boy Advance game. If you have Aria of Sorrow cartridge inserted as you start a new save file, you get free rare ring.
And as you can see, the rare ring is like significantly higher sell value than everything else in your inventory so far, so money is not an issue early game.
Yeah. You can buy full potions and mind ups. Oh, and you're buying axe, of course. It's required for zipping, which we'll see actually in this very room.
And already just a few minutes into the run, speedrunners already have everything they need to break this game wide open. Just an axe and a dream is all it takes. Well, that and a little bit of practice. See, in the pause menu for this game, at the very bottom is a practice option. This gives you the ability to practice drawing seals anywhere outside of boss rooms, which opens the game up for a major glitch. And this is why speedrunners rush to the shop to buy the axe as soon as possible. This is because all weapons in this game have a special attack that, for the cost of some mana, does a powered up attack that can have all sorts of different animations based on the weapon being used. And lucky enough for us, the axe special attack sees Soma fly off screen, then return with an overhead swing. But speedrunners have found that if you start the axe special, then quickly pause the game and open the seal practice screen, it causes you to zip. Zips are a very weird glitch in this game. I asked Diagon for help explaining why these zips happen, and even he is somewhat unsure. The best guess we have is that since Soma is leaving the screen, his sprite is touching the load zone for the room above. Most rooms in this game have load zones surrounding the edges of that room, and these load zones warp the player into the next room in the castle, so that when you interact with them normally, it gives you the illusion of walking through an interconnected world. And to prevent these warps from happening anytime Soma leaves the screen from a special attack, the devs disabled the interaction with those off-screen load zones during these attacks. But, for whatever reason, the act of pulling up the seal practice menu breaks this failsafe, causing a zip, which forces Soma into the next room, but in a somewhat arbitrary location.
As I said, I think it's how it works. I mean, yeah, no one really knows how this works.
That's a common theme amongst Castlevania speedruns, is sometimes a glitch is integral to a speedrun, but nobody really knows exactly why it works, they just do it. Thankfully for us, this axe zip warps Soma to the top of the Lost Village, which grants us access to the Demon Guest House. And here lies another key item that we're going to need for this run. But yeah, we're in an area that we're not supposed to be in at all. These rooms are all interconnected and have like endpoints that are supposed to be able to connect based off of the puzzle here. And we're actually seeing you solve the puzzle a little bit for a specific item.
Yeah, so I have to pick up Cuddle here. It allows to do special, but unlike axe, this one actually is horizontal.
So now we have the axe for vertical zips and we have the cut-all for horizontal zips. And you set one up pretty much right away, yeah. And this one is weird, right?
Yeah, it's super weird because you can't even see yourself. You have to move a little bit to the left to trigger this cutscene, and then you actually can see yourself.
Oh, it like fixes the camera by entering the cutscene. That's silly. Now that runners have both the axe and the cut-all, they zip across the castle and completely break the game's intended progression order. And since this is an all bosses run, speedrunners have their eyes set on dealing as much damage as quickly as possible to these bosses. So they want to sequence break all the way to the final area of the game, the Abyss, to pick up one of the best damage options in the entire game, the Malakota Soul. This is the most powerful red soul in the game. It has Soma grow a tail that whips around him and deals massive damage. This attack can be enhanced by jumping, then landing as the first part of the attack connects, which cancels the animation, allowing runners to spam the attack over and over again. The soul's damage can also be buffed by increasing Soma's intelligence stat. So this soul is clearly very powerful, and runners waste no time zipping past all the obstacles in their way to get their hands on it, including this boss fight right here with Dario. Runners could attempt to fight this guy right now, but the Malakota Soul is so powerful and so efficient at killing bosses, it's faster to skip right past this guy to get to the Abyss faster, then backtrack here later to finish him off. So you skipped Dario. You're in the garden here. All of this to grab the elfin robe. As you said earlier, it increases your intelligence, so that way your Malakota Soul does significantly more damage.
Yeah, so it's like 25.
Yeah, 25 individual damage per attack, which adds up. On the way towards the Abyss, there are a few convenient pickups runners acquire. The Elfin Robe, as seen earlier, and the first Grey Soul for the run, the Doppelganger Soul. Grey Souls in this game act a lot like relics from previous Castlevania titles. They are permanent upgrades to Soma's movement or abilities. But in this game, for whatever reason, the Grey Souls are glitched if you collect them out of order. The game's normal progression intends that the player kill the boss Balor and collect his Grey Soul first, which lets you break these ice blocks by tapping them on the screen. More fun touchscreen gimmicks. Yay! Since speedrunners just zip across the castle, they don't have the Balor Soul yet, and because of some issue in the game's code, when runners pick up the Doppelganger Soul, they also get an additional Grey Soul as well. And conveniently for us, it happens to be the Malphus Soul, which gives Soma the ability to double jump. And immediately runners take advantage of this new movement option. Backdashes can now be comboed with dive kicks to increase Soma's horizontal movement speed, as well as comboing dive kicks with the slow fall speed from the flying armor, to cover larger horizontal distances with each kick. But even though this run has been very glitchy so far, there's still plenty of opportunities to break this game without any glitches. This is funny. Like, is this a glitch? Like, if you play glitchless, are you allowed to do this?
Yes, you are allowed. Because, like, I mean, let's be real. You're not doing a glitch. You're just pressing a singular button.
It's so silly that it just works. That if you have a weapon whose special attack pushes you to the side, Soma has like a hitbox that can interact with switches. So this allows you into the tower without needing the Puppet Master Soul. And anyone can do that. Like, you literally just walk up to the switch and do the cut all special and it works. It's the easiest skip in the game.
So here's another zip, and it's, as I said, they're super weird. Usually they warp you upwards. In this case, you go down for some reason.
So you could see that you're the ghost of Soma is chilling over here, but for whatever reason, you just zip downwards immediately afterwards into the mine here, and this skips like a huge portion of the game. This is like the second to last area. But now you're here with the death fight coming up. How is he going to get out of this one, folks?
Nah, he can live for now. It's fine.
It is an all bosses run, so we are going to have to come back to this guy.
Fun fact, with RPG route, you actually kill him.
RPG route? What's that? Well, my dear viewer, the fact that this game gives you the freedom to zip almost anywhere has led to some very interesting speedrunning routing over the years. The previous best route for this run had runners acquire a completely different damage source instead of the Malakota Soul. Runners would do some zips to enter the pinnacle early, and then go in this room where there are a ton of succubus enemies, which runners would then kill to acquire the succubus soul. This soul puts Soma in an animation where he can attempt to steal HP from enemies, but using a special attack can cancel this animation, which puts Soma in a glitched state. And this succubus glitch was used to great effect as runners would save the game, restart to the main menu, and enter the boss rush mode. Here in the boss rush mode, you're expected to kill every boss in the game back to back, using whatever items and souls you've picked up during your playthrough. And depending on how quickly you beat the boss rush, you're given some sort of reward that you can bring back with you into your normal playthrough. But speedrunners have plans to use the succubus glitch to get through much faster than normal. So to showcase what that succubus glitch is, in this area you can't practice magic seals, but you want to get to the end of the boss rush very quickly. So by utilizing the succubus soul and then canceling it with the special attack and then doing another special attack, you can zip through rooms. And at the very end, you are gifted a very special item, the RPG.
Yeah, you have to end the boss rush under 5 minutes.
A very, very powerful weapon that you can shoot giant rocket-propelled grenades at the enemies and the bosses to do massive damage. It's probably one of the strongest weapons in the game overall. This was what the previous route used as its primary way of doing damage, right?
Yeah.
So back to the actual route that we're watching today. Probably the optimal route, correct?
Yeah, right now it's the best route.
This route might be the best for speedruns, but that doesn't mean it's easy to execute. This place, the Abyss, is incredibly dangerous, as we are here at level 5. But runners risk their lives in this nightmare hell zone because this area has some of the best souls in the game waiting for us, like the Hippogriff Soul, which gives Soma the ability to just fly, and of course the main reason we're here, the Malakota Soul. So you are incredibly underleveled for this area, so you have to be very careful with your HP. Like, that did like 80% of your HP, just that flame pillar.
Yeah, and this room is awful, actually.
Yeah, you have to do some very precise damage boosts and hope for good RNG from those flea men guys, but you made it through.
Fortunately, you can do what I did with flame pillars there. So like double jump into dive kick with flying armor.
Yeah, because otherwise, if you try and outrun those flame pillars, you get hit every time, unless you have, like, Black Panther, I think.
So this is Malakota, and you have to farm his soul.
Yeah, this is the RNG aspect of the game. You just need to get lucky and get the soul drop. Thankfully, for whatever reason, the Malakota soul is, like, pretty generous, all things considered. And we're going to be seeing that soul get used pretty soon. You do another zip in this direction, and you actually go for the double.
Oh, yeah, it's a double zip, yeah.
I'm sorry. Did he just say double zip? Now I know what you must be thinking. Wow, speedrunners are such cheaters. All they do is skip the game, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, kind of, but hear me out. While this zip glitch is absurdly broken, there are some limitations that are important to discuss here, specifically when it comes to boss doors. Normally, all boss doors in this game require a specific seal be in your inventory before you are allowed to enter, and this animation of blocking the player can stop you from performing zips through these doors. But thankfully for us, every boss door has been next to some sort of slope or step that has let runners offset their vertical position such that they can avoid the door from pushing them away. However, some boss doors cannot be skipped this way, which is where double zips come into play. During a normal zip, if you were to unpause and then pause the game again very quickly, and then watch the seal practice animation again, you cause the zip glitch to happen multiple times. This means you can zip past multiple rooms at once, which means you can get past the boss door that normally can't be zipped past. And that double zip is so you can end up in the boss room versus Abaddon. And this is the Malakota Soul, and that's a lot of damage, 100 damage per hit. And canceling over and over again, there are very few ways to do more damage than that, especially this early in the game. You are still level 5 at this point.
Yeah, Elfin Robe is super helpful.
And you are opening the menu to refill your mana. That's one of the main reasons why you bought so many of those mind ups. Makes sense. And oh yeah, this seal. Oh my god. If I had $1 for every time I failed this seal as a kid, fighting this stupid jerk, you do get the Abaddon Soul, which, do you end up using that at all in this run?
I will now to get Black Panther.
Gotcha, gotcha. So yeah, in this room, this is the first area possible for the Black Panther, as you can see chilling at the edge of the screen here. And this soul is absolutely mandatory, I feel like, for a speedrun that is this long.
Oh yeah, it's pointless to even try without Black Panther.
Yeah, so if you get unlucky, obviously, you just have to reset the room and try again. Again, another instance of RNG being a pretty big factor. Either way, you got it relatively quickly.
I think it's about 8% chance.
It's one of the higher drop chances in the game, but yeah, you immediately put it on because, well, you move so much faster.
Yeah, so now it's just some movement to get to the warp here. The important thing is I have to restock on my consumables, but it's kind of pointless to do so right now because in this game, by triggering certain cutscenes, you unlock stuff in shop.
Oh.
And cutscene before Belore actually unlocks high potions and high mind ups.
So you come over here, one, because there's a boss and it's an all bosses run, but also it's convenient that it unlocks more items. We're seeing right here the Malakota Soul doing major damage to this guy.
I mean, yeah, this is the second boss normally, so he has like 800 HP, maybe even less. And yeah, you have to destroy the ice.
There, you're touching on the touchscreen the individual ice cubes to break them. At this point, runners have almost everything they need to get to every boss in the game. The only exception is the boss fight with Aguni. This boss is hiding inside of this mirror, and the Paranoia Soul is the only way to enter the mirror and face this boss. But that soul is locked behind the Paranoia boss fight, which itself is locked behind these red soul pillars that only disappear if you use the soul of the enemy shown on the pillar. But we're talking about a speedrun here, so of course, runners have a way to cheat that too. There's no way to do a seal zip in this room since it sends you out of bounds where you would be stuck forever. They instead get the succubus soul and perform that succubus glitch we talked about earlier. This lets them skip past these pillars, which lets them access the boss. And this guy is freaking annoying, man. He's like one of my least favorite bosses. Not necessarily because of this pattern. Like him just chasing you around isn't that big of a deal. It's when he goes into the mirror, man. He just wastes so much time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
These boss fights are starting to look the same, huh? Soma just swings the Malakota tail and they stand no chance. And Paranoia is no exception. And now speedrunners have nothing stopping them, continuing their rampage through the castle, while slaying all the bosses in the way and doing some zips for good measure. And then here you use Paranoia Soul to get into the boss fight, and this is Aguni. I imagine his height makes it kind of awkward to do very quick Malakota attacks.
This boss fight actually saves a lot of time if you do it with RPG, because you can also use Abaddon Soul.
Oh.
And Abaddon Soul against him is insane.
That makes sense. Yeah, you can't use Abaddon and Malakota at the same time since they're both red souls. So you basically only have one option, and it's just Malakota.
Yeah, but it's still fine.
In this fight, this guy can be annoying because every once in a while he'll do a time stop move and waste a lot of time, but you killed him fast enough before he did any of the silly moves.
It's actually super easy because unlike other bosses, he has somewhat high defense value, but lower HP. So now it's Dark Chapel time. It's time to kill Dimitri and Malphas.
Yeah, Dimitri's gimmick is that he'll absorb whatever red soul you use versus him, but like, you're just doing so much damage that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Malphas is gonna be somewhat the same.
Yeah, these are pretty early game bosses, and you're doing a ton of damage per hit.
Yeah, he didn't even fly.
But now we are nearing the end, with only a handful of bosses remaining, and this next one is Gurgoth, the cutest little monster sitting atop the condemned tower. And climbing this tower takes quite a while, so speedrunners instead perform a massive zip that conveniently warps them all the way to the top, skipping this entire section. You make your way to Gurgoth, probably one of the most iconic boss fights in this game. So if I remember correctly, the way this boss fight works is you do a certain amount of damage in like phase 1, and then once you've done that much damage, it doesn't matter. You have to just wait for him to do this attack.
Yes. Here you don't even have to attack him.
Like it doesn't do anything.
He gets another HP. It only happens after the collar on his legs disappear.
And then you just start doing damage while that animation is playing, so you can quickly get rid of his second HP bar, and the boss is dead. Now you're back to Death, 20 minutes later, powered up, leveled up. It seems like Death has a lot of resistances if you're only doing 104 at this point.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, bosses have different defense value in this game.
Seems like here you got a relatively good pattern where you could do a decent amount of attack cancels.
The lower he is, the better it is for you, of course. It works this way for the second phase as well.
Yeah, he can also waste time by, teleporting around. Nice. Yeah, that's an attack pattern that can waste a lot of time because you have to dodge these skulls as they go back and forth. But here you killed him in the middle of the attack. And here's the best designed boss in any video game ever. My favorite boss of all time.
It's amazing. It's the most fair boss to ever exist in the series.
Thankfully, phase 1 is like very easy. It's wild to me that this boss has 3 attacks in phase 1 and then not that many attacks in phase 2, but it's not the boss attacks that matter.
Yes.
The boss does a ton of damage if you like collide into this entire like cagey area, but you just essentially need to do enough damage to this part and then you activate phase 2. And phase 2 randomly will just spawn these little mouth thingies, and these guys are the real final boss in my opinion. Like, you can dodge all of this guy's attacks very easily, but these little jerks fly around and they do so much damage. Like,
I think they do just slightly less than the actual boss.
Obviously, you need to be good at the game to be able to handle different RNG patterns, but the difference between having a good RNG versus bad RNG in this fight can be a lot of time. He has 2 different weak points that you have to hit to do damage. There's the face in his mouth and then the face on his knee. The face on his knee, you can just attack over and over and over again, but the one on the mouth, he like closes his mouth. And while the mouth is closed, you cannot do damage to him at all. So you just have to wait. Yeah, you were able to kill him, but if he was over here next to this platform, you could do Malakota cancels on this platform to kill him a little bit faster. But there it is. That's every boss in the game defeated. Very solid run. Very happy that we got to showcase this here. Just any final thoughts or feelings you have about this game and this speedrun?
I will be real. The amount of RNG in Soma mode is insane. If you want to run this game, I would recommend going for Julius mode rather. It does not have glitches like Soma mode does, but
yeah, you're trading off glitches and skips for just more consistency with like RNG, because Soma mode you definitely need to get lucky with soul drops. You need to get lucky with the menace RNG. That is a boss where RNG can make or break how well you do. Alrighty, thank you again, Diagon. I appreciate you performing this run and showcasing it and explaining the knowledge that you have. If people enjoy this, maybe we can come back and do a Julius run as well and have that explained and show them the good side of speedrunning this game.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Heck yeah. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, as it really does help me out a lot. Also, I want to give a huge thanks to Diagon for helping me with this video. Please go follow him over on Twitch and YouTube, and I want to congratulate you for making it to the very end of the video. You have now entered the super special secret end of the video club. Post this secret word in the comments to let me know you've joined the club. And if you want to join an even better club, you can join my Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you could support me in making videos like this, as well as get early access and behind the scenes content into the making of these videos. And of course, I'd like to give a special shout out to my higher tier patrons, because they're the reason you don't see sponsors in the middle of these videos. And I'd like to give a special thanks to Mikrob, Henry Davis, Grave Cactus, Nanoseed Production Company, Barnabas DeGray, Minus X, Soma Jean, TJ Foster, Atomic Dracula, Suchioto, Kenneth, Joachim Palm, WJB, and Brett Yingling.